Alright, it is 26th of December, 2024. Um, I just want to first say Merry Christmas to every single person out there who's watching. It's like a day after Christmas, but that's close enough. So, about a few weeks ago, a server known as Union Station, which is basically just a bunch of servers combined from railfanning channels, like big ones like Fancy Fan 19, the Winnipeg Railfan, they all combined in early mid-November 2024 to form what was known as Union Station. That server from the start was chaos. We had every single person imaginable that you can think of. We had the occasional racist person, the occasional homophobic person, the occasional fucking retard who didn't agree with opinions and took it way too far. We had every type of person that you can have in a server, basically. And unfortunately, one of those type of people, for a very short time, ended up being found as a pedophile. And very unfortunately, that was the owner. The server shut down after this info got leaked earlier in the month, earlier this month in December. And he went by the name of Buccaneer railfanning. Now, this man was found to be a pedophile, and he did the right thing. He did the right thing. He turned himself in, gave all of his devices to proper authorities, everything, went through the full 9 yards. He only just got some of his access back. Not this week. Last week, like about Saturday, I think. But this man basically got ousted as a pedophile. Gives his devices in, gets, investigation. He came back about a week and a half after all of this to prove that he was innocent. And in my entire opinion, he is, even though he states himself that he doesn't think he's entirely innocent. This man's completely innocent, but that's just my opinion. What this man did was truly the greatest comeback of all time, and it's still in progress. So basically, the majority of the story goes is that back about 2 to 3 years ago, he was dating this girl who said she was 17 while he was 17. And he didn't know it at the time, and he wouldn't know this till a little bit before the relationship ended, but she was underage. She lied about her age. And her parents knew about this the entire time, too. This girl lied that she was 17 when in reality she was 13. Her parents knew about this. Her parents knew that she was lying about her age to get into a relationship with what ended up to be one of the most popular railfan YouTubers of current times before all of this happened. His friends did some digging a little bit before the relationship ended, and they found that she was indeed underage. Buccaneer got word from his friends, a little bit skeptical at first, but then he ended the relationship and found out. What this girl did is she basically just blackmailed his ass. He just blackmailed him entirely. I'd like to point out, there was no physical contact between these two as far as I have learned. And I have quite literally DM'd Buccaneer, and he has not said any of this. Not that he said any of this, but he has not said that there was physical relationship or physical contact between the two. So I'm going to very safely assume that there was not any sort of physical contact between the two, which is very important, because that'd be even worse. But he did not physically, they did not have any physical contact between the two. It was just over, like, talking to each other type of relationship. So basically, this girl lied about her age just to get into a relationship. He found out, ended the relationship, and she basically blackmailed him for the next few years. She blackmailed him into basically what has become the situation now. For the next like 2 to 3 years, she would end up like keeping him blackmailed by threatening to release info on their relationship if he ever does something that she didn't want. And about a few weeks ago, about a few weeks earlier into this December 2024, she released all that info on her own for no reason. And that's what got Buccaneer in all of this trouble. So here we are, 26th of December, 2024. It's been a few days, about a week after I learned that Buccaneer was innocent. And yeah, this man came back on the 22nd. He came back to Union Station, which is mostly abandoned now. He came back on the 22nd just to make the announcement that he was the victim the entire time. And this is all in quotes. In quotes, it says, "At everyone, I've gotten word from someone that Buccaneer railfanning was actually the victim the entire time. The actual pedo was Jenny and set him up for failure and doom. She deliberately lied about it and spread it as a false rumor. This is a rare event, and now Buccaneer railfanning can make a comeback because of all this. Everyone was wrong." And I'd just like to show all of this, because, this is what fucks some people up. So, as we can see, she's basically just she's being an idiot. Oop, shit. There we go. Yeah, so basically this bitch kind of cheated on him too. And also admitted that she had, she basically already did outside of him. Now, there was no physical contact between the two. I must stress that again. So he did not ever physically touch her, by the way. So I'm just going to point that out now. And, that's basically how it happened. But, yeah, that's basically just how it happened. He did offer to send additional proof, and he ended up doing it. He said, "Hey man, I wanted to get in touch, as I'm sure you've heard. There have been people saying I'm innocent. Well, I am not entirely, as I did date Jenny, who is 17, and although she is from Bulgaria, and she and her parents both consented to the relationship, I take full responsibility for even dating her. As the older person, I had the chance to stop the relationship or not make actions, and while she may have given me a false sense of security, so to speak, I am willing to let the world know I take full responsibility for my misactions and sincerely apologize to not only the railfanning community but to Jenny as well. As Jesus taught us to forgive, so shall I." And then he sends a screenshot of further evidence. So yeah, she admits that she was 13 at the time of this. So basically, she admitted that she was 13. And I'd just like to say, if you're lying about your age to get into a fucking relationship, you're a piece of shit. Honestly. I don't regret saying this, but, like, if you're lying to get into a relationship with someone, and it's your age that you're lying about, you are genuinely a piece of fucking shit. Alright, so then he sends more, saying, "This is the photo Jenny sent me and how I found out about Alex's real age. After me and this person, whose name I will keep as Mrs. A for her own safety, broke up in May of 2023, I have not reached out to her nor sought communication with her. I would check up on her on Instagram rarely to see how she was doing, as back then I was not aware of the truth. After I found out, I was extremely disturbed and made sure to not only block, but to completely remove her from any way to connect with me. Here's some more screenshots of when I found out. Jenny, the girl who leaked everything, found out by asking Mrs. A some questions, since I brought up Mrs. A while discussing past relationships." So yeah, she's basically just saying you're not the bad man for this, which is kind of, it's true, honestly. So basically, she's agreeing with him that he's the victim, which is kind of fucking stupid. She's basically telling him everything is gonna be okay, but, like, that was not the case. This man had his entire fucking, basically his entire life ruined because of this. She says that she's done worse than this, which is, I don't even want to know what worse than this sounds or looks like. Basically, he's just being weak with this. He's like, he's confused, he's nervous, and he's stressed, which is understandable, but, like, that's where you get taken advantage of. And then he was also smart, kind of, by, like, also sending voice messages, but unfortunately we can't listen to those, because those are, well, these are screenshots. They're not, like I can't play them. Yeah, so basically these are just, like, you know, screenshots that we've already seen. And then he said, "Feel free to look through these. As you can tell, she was giving me a false sense of security, and I guess had plans to blackmail me. She, on a phone call, would say, 'It's very bad I found out and you didn't. I have the power to ruin your life, so as long as you are on my good side, you'll be fine.' After a while, she began to get extremely toxic, saying things such as, 'I should kill myself. I left my mom because that's the only person who even slightly cares. I'm a disgrace to my country. I'm a waste of oxygen, etc.' I have a screenshot of it, but I do not have it on hand. My phone and laptop are currently in the possession of the U.S. Army CID for investigation, as I self-reported because I wanted help. I do not have access to my YouTube account, as my email is on my phone that is currently in the hands of CID. Anyway, the day after this all occurred, she then had enough. I don't know what happened to trigger it, but she decided to leak everything, which is where we are today, which was sent on the 23rd. The 23rd of December, 2024. And that's where a lot of it ends. At least for now. Now you would think that, you know, she would dip for a while after this because she's, you know, she's in deep shit for this, so she would dip. But no, she fucking came back and decided it'd be a good idea to respond. And Buccaneer railfanning comes back later on the 23rd. The last message of all the evidence I showed you is at 1:38 p.m. Eastern Seaboard Time on the 23rd. He would then come back on He would then come back on the 23rd at 3:11 p.m. Eastern Seaboard Time to say that Jenny responded, "Here's what I had to say," and forwarded a few messages, which said, "2. Nah, Alex did not reveal the truth shortly after we broke up. If she did, I completely missed it. But of course, I am aware that she may edit things or twist the truth, knowing that they have the power. And 3rd, you legit admitted in a voice call that, quote, it's so bad that I found out and you didn't. I could ruin your life, so I suggest you stay on my good side," end quote. The second forwarded message says, "The reason why I was so scared and told Jenny not to tell anyone was because I used to see Alex in such high regard and used to really look back fondly on our time together, of course not knowing the truth. When she told me, I felt horrible. There is some kind of mental thing that happens with victims of certain cases. When they report the case, they feel guilty, and I guess that's what I was going through. I felt horrible and truly disturbed at the truth. I didn't even want to be around anyone. That's why I kept asking Jenny if I was the bad man." Third forwarded message says, "She admitted this herself, and I used to hear all the time, quote, they like you, they think you are funny, they think you're cute, they think you are Bulgarian, can be worked on, end quote, etc. Of course, I never directly had drawn out conversations, but from what she used to tell me, and whenever she was on the phone with me, her parents used to say hello, and she would translate for them." The fourth and final forwarded message says, "And nah, Jenny initially reached out to Alex after I mentioned her and gave Jenny her user, thinking nothing of it and didn't mind if they talked. Initially I was skeptical, then I told her she can continue the combos if she likes. However, later I asked her to leave her alone. Once again, I did not know the true nature of Alex, and when I did, that is when I asked Jenny to cut contact." One last thing. I never blackmailed someone, that part was in quotations. He says, "I wish I recorded our phone calls. The amount of dirt you have told me about people is more than what is on the earth itself." And for those who don't believe any of that, here's each and every single one. And then someone asked him, "I thought you're not supposed to be speaking because your lawyer said so." He then says, "Yes, and to ensure that, that's why my stuff was taken and I went MIA for about a week and a half." Which then he proceeds to ask, "What is that?" Which he explains is missing in action. Anyone who says MIA always means missing in action. He then forwards a message saying, "Here's another thing I'll mention. Why did she wait? Why did she wait until the day I was supposed to leave to go home to the USA? Why did she wait until I was at least the peak of my YouTube career? Why did she wait until I was happy?" Basically, she kind of just fucked him up. He kind of fucked up his entire mental state. Then he asks, "Even if you're in the wrong, why did she date you and then mess you up so bad?" Which Buccaneer responds, "We dated because we genuinely enjoyed each other's company. She would really get me through rough times and always have my back. She would always defend me and would always have time for me. It's something I've been seeking from a relationship for years." Then he asks, "What did bro do?" Which Buccaneer responds to, "What did I do? Well, deployment started taking its toll, and I wasn't giving the same back, as when I'm going through tough times, I tend to shut down. She also began to accuse me of cheating and would throw fits if I left her alone for more than 30 seconds or I had to go do something, and she never understood military life. It is busy. My physical shape started to deteriorate as I put more time into her than, let's say, working out." And how old was she? 17, at least at that time. And then he just asks, "What about the 13-year-old? And it's basically just a bunch of more evidence. He gives a video file for a YouTube video, and basically a video providing evidence for him. I will link it in the description for those who want it. Or those who want to watch it instead of, fucking searching through YouTube. And then Jenny comes along. And here, let me put the phone down so I can read this easier. But basically, she comes out again to say this. To the whole railfanning community, I would like to firstly apologize to every single one of you for jeopardizing your community. I'm going to start from the scratch. I have fully consented to have this relationship with Buccaneer, also involving explicit content, etc. I repeat, I have fully consented. He's never made me do anything against my will. Yes, we both had our wrongs in this relationship, which now we had the opportunity to discuss. As for Buccaneer's ex, Alex, I just found out through Jericho that she lied to me about the majority of the things she said. I was also blinded. Buccaneer was not aware of her actual age. He was not. Regarding him and I, everything has always been done with both our free will. I would also like to add that at the time Buccaneer used to date Alex, her parents were aware of his age and still allowed it. Somehow. Furthermore, the screenshots I provided him interacting with me are between me and him, not him and Alex. At least some of them. Again, I do apologize for everything and would genuinely ask and appreciate if you quit attacking Buccaneer, for he is innocent. So basically, she's coming out and saying that the 13-year-old and her parents knew this entire time that she was fucking... that Buccaneer was over the age of 18, and they still aligned it. They still allowed it. Which basically is like, why would you do this? That's kind of stupid. And unfortunately, that's basically the end of the evidence in there. And it's highly unfortunate that all of this happened. It's also very unfortunate that there are parents out there that would fucking do this to a child. You'd let an 18-year-old basically date your kid. If you're a parent like that, you're a piece of shit, honestly. And like, this entire situation was entirely preventable if, one, we had more maybe more responsible parents out there, and also, two, if, maybe keep track of your 13-year-old a little bit more and a little bit better. And actually, this goes for every underage kid out there. Just don't do anything that's been mentioned here. Don't do it at all. This is the importance of, like, fucking, researching, doing name and ID searches and everything like this. Because, like, something like this, if someone tells you their age, ask for their name too. Do a little bit of searching for them. Like, this entire situation was preventable. Basically, from how this... Basically, I don't even know how to describe this. Because it's like... How is this preventable when all of this happened? Basically, the entire thing is preventable by, one, keeping secrets a little bit better, and two, pay more attention to your kids when you can. I can understand if you're working all the time and making money to survive in this world. I can understand that entirely. I don't blame you if you can't take care of your kid as much as others because you're doing that. Like, if you're hustling for the money to take care of you and your kid, I can understand that. But, like, judging from how this 13-year-old acted, they weren't doing that. They were just doing it for fun. So, like, if you're able to, just do that. on top of that, we also have to bring in the innocent until proven guilty card. In this day and age, it's become guilty until proven innocent, and that's what this entire situation was. This man was guilty, entirely guilty, until he came back and proved himself innocent. Now, unfortunately, his reputation is going to be charred for this one, but I think this isn't his fault entirely. This is the 13-year-old's fault. She could have fucking. This is entirely her fault. She could have not done this. None of this could have happened. But instead, she fucking did all this. Ruined someone's life. This is basically a case of why the fuck would you do this? I don't understand why you would want to do this. Now that's the evidence in the remnants of Union Station. I DM'd Buccaneer on the 22nd of December, 2024, at about 9:51 p.m. And he responded with basically his basically when I first DM'd him, I already showed you all the evidence in the Union Station remnants, but that's basically what it was entirely. It was just every fucking basically all the evidence that he gave me, we have already went over in the remnants of Union Station. And he sent me a little bit of additional evidence on the 23rd at 8:29 p.m. And then he provides this screenshot of a conversation between question mark and your name has been thrown around in a community. You probably know which one. I'm aware. Was it true that you were lying about everything? I already spoke to enough people about this drama. I do not wish to be bothered anymore. I don't know who says that, but I've never lied about a single thing. I also provided enough evidence on the case, so I don't think I should be accused. Have you seen the recent screenshots? I'm telling the truth. It's people's choice whether to believe me or not. I'm sick and tired of being accused of lying. I'm done with this whole madness. I do not wish to be bothered anymore. I've leaned to your side the entire time, just trying to clear things up here, because a server of mine spiked out because of the drama, and now people are sending screenshots of new stuff in there. I have provided so much information and evidence, and people still don't want to believe me. I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm on the verge of tears. I do not wish to know. I just want to be left alone if people are not going to believe me, although I have provided enough evidence. This was a screenshot that was not sent in the remnants of Union Station. This is entirely in DMs. He then states, like I said, yes, me and Jenny were sexual. However, she consented and so did her parents. It's morally wrong. Yes, I fell in love with the wrong person in a way, and I take responsibility for it. As for Alex, well, the proof is out there. The fact that she said the screenshot she sent were of me and Alex were sickening. She knew what she was trying to do. Then he sends further screenshots of leaked DMs. And it says, it's fine. At least it's consensual, It's okay, though. Got you. So basically, it's basically the entirety of it is, both Jenny, the 17-year-old, and him, they consented to it, So, that part is fine, because, they both consent, so, that's completely fine, That's entirely legal, legal thing. Both parties consented, which means it's okay. He did not, however, have sex with the girl who lied about her age, which arguably would be the worst thing to happen, because then that's where the bad things happen. And then I believe it was the Winnipeg Rail fan made a video on the Buccaneer and what he did. However, he got a lot of it wrong, and he forwarded a message on Christmas Eve, 24th of December, 2024 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Seaboard Time, forwarding a message stating Winnipeg has a responsibility to get the facts right, since he has a huge audience and whatever he says goes. It hurts that he is completely turning a blind eye to the overwhelming evidence that I brought forth. Once again with Alex, I did not know her age until long after we broke up. As for Jenny, I have taken full responsibility and ownership of my morally incorrect views. Shame on you for calling out people who want to share my story. Then the final message that he sends is basically the last message he sent in the Union Station remnants. So basically, this entire situation is, one person lying about their age and getting caught, and then, a whole bunch of drama for that. Second person, which is Jenny, they both consented when they had the relationship, which is completely fine. Consent laws they're in place. What they did was entirely legal. There was no physical contact with the 14-year-old in any way, shape, or form. He simply dated her, had talked a little bit. His friends did some digging. She ended up being found as 13 instead of the age that she said, which was 18. And she kind of got pissed. She kind of got her DMs leaked to Jenny, and she leaked those DMs, basically. And now we're here. People took those DMs the wrong way and thought that he was planning on meeting up with this girl, and now we're here. So basically, again, like I stated when we went over everything in the Union Station remnants, but basically, it's a case of you needed to watch your child better. You could have kept either a secret or context or evidence a lot better. And it's a case of basically wrong place, wrong time, in all the wrong ways. And it all leads back to the case of innocent until proven guilty, which in Buccaneer's case was guilty until proven innocent by many. Now, I'm going to give my personal opinions on this. When he came back about a week later, after the Union Station shut down, I believe that he was innocent the entire time. Up to when he said that the girl had lied about her age, I knew entirely then and there that he was innocent. I believed he was innocent. And I'm going to be honest. What Jenny did, very wrong. Leaking screenshots without his knowledge until a week before Christmas. I'm gonna be honest. That's kind of an asshole move, but I can't knock the relationship in any way because what they did was entirely legal. There's nothing. I believe they were both I think Buccaneer was 17 or so. I forget how old. But Jenny was 17, so she was able to consent to it. Or actually, no. Her parents did, though. So, her parents consented to this. So that was entirely legal. Completely legal with this. And it basically comes down to one relationship nearly went into a bad area, but luckily it didn't, because that would be really bad. And the other basically just like, the other basically kind of like, the other was an okay relationship, honestly, because, like, again, Jenny's relationship was fully legal. The parents consented to it, so, like, even if you have a problem with what he did with Jenny, it's still completely legal, so you can't do anything about it. But the 13-year-old who lied about her age, I mean, really, that's a bad move, honestly. Well, that's gonna do it for now. I will see you people later, or in another video.